Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Once the new evidence came to light, Sheriff Gaylor was adamant that we needed to inform our community as soon as possible.
These were just a few words that the chief of police said at a press conference related to Rachel Morin, which went missing August 5th. However, she was found a day later, bludgeoned to death. Rachel Morin, mother of 5, often found comfort in being outdoors and working out. This was no different August 5th, around 6 p.m. when she went to the Maupassant Heritage Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. Nobody really knows what happened on that trail, but whatever it is, it was really horrible. A teenage girl found her body the next day during search efforts. The horrific scene only can be what is left to imagination.
Her death has grabbed local, state, national, and international headlines.
DNA was located at the scene of the crime.
DNA evidence is part of nearly every modern-day investigation, and in Rachel's case, DNA evidence was collected by our Forensic Services Unit. This DNA evidence has come back as a match, tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March.
This is the first time that we heard of an assailant associated with her case.
Unfortunately, that suspect has not been positively identified, but he did leave behind his DNA. In the video we obtained from the Los Angeles Police Department to be the person that murdered Rachel Morin on August 5th.
Rachel, mother of 5, died a brutal death. Can you help?
And the tip line number is 410-836-7788.
The legacy of the Murdaughs stretch very far in South Carolina. Behind these gates lie deadly secrets. Secrets only Alec Murdaugh himself know. On June 7th, 2021, Alec Murdaugh hatched a deadly secret, plotting against his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. But what brought us to this point starts with Mallory Beach. Mallory Beach was killed in a boating accident by Paul Murdaugh, Alec Murdaugh's son, and it was going to trial, and Alec was about to pony up financial records. Those financial records were going to uncover a financial scheme hatched by none other than Alec Murdaugh himself. Right before going to court over the boating accident, Alec Murdaugh's wife, Maggie, and son Paul were brutally executed at the dog kennels at their home in Low Country, South Carolina, the property known as Moselle. Shortly after the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son Paul, he had a foiled suicide plot at a local church nearby. Alec had a friend try to shoot him in the head region, which again failed, and he went to the hospital where it was a superficial wound, leaving everybody to believe this was a foiled suicide attempt to garner sympathy from the community. This foiled attempt was captured on camera at the local church. Alec Murdaugh received 2 life sentences for the death and murder of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. After Alec's double homicide conviction of his wife Maggie and his son Paul, he has since set his eyes on the clerk of Colton County, Becky Hill. Becky Hill is now come under fire for putting her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get Alec Murdaugh convicted. Alec Murdaugh's defense team state that Becky Hill put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get money for a book deal. Alec Murdaugh has a hearing for a motion for new trial coming up on January 29th. This hearing details how Alec Murdaugh believes Becky Hill, the clerk of Colton County, put her hands on the scales of justice in an effort to get a guilty verdict from the jury. The judge in the matter stated that she will be willing to hear from the jurors and Becky Hill only at the most recent status conference hearing. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories channel as we prepare to go to this hearing to find out whether Alec Murdaugh does indeed get a new trial.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
And of course, I had to move the computer. Hopefully it stands up. Good morning, everyone. I'm trying to be super, super quiet because I'm at Jen's house. Let me take my background off because her internet's not like my internet. There we go. Hi. It's nice to see everyone this morning. We are going to be showing some things, so you guys are going to have to bear with me because I'm working on one computer, one screen. I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. I'm sorry I kept trying to go live, and I got to tell you, yesterday I was exhausted. By the time I got here, I was pooped. We went, I got to meet some of Jen's friends. We went and kind of
scavengered this one storage unit. It was it's coming up for auction or something like that. I can't remember. But anyways, we got a little something here and a little something there. And so I got this cute little sign that says, I can't remember what it says, but it's something about possibilities. It goes with the theme behind, the desk that I have, because everything has meaning and purpose and positivity and stuff like that. So this has like a positive message, and I saw it, and of course, naturally, I grabbed it. So we're going to be debuting you remember I talk about trash and treasure, right? Somebody else's trash is somebody else's treasure, right? So we got a trashed sign. Yay! It's cute though. It's cute. Anyways, we had just a lovely time, and her friend's a hairdresser. She saw my hair. She's like, my roots are growing out like 3 inches. I haven't been to the hairdresser. And so I'm going to be here for a little bit because I just realized Columbia is like 45 minutes away, and I really don't need to be in Columbia until 3. That's when I check in. And so we're just going to be rocking it out. We're just going to be rocking it out here. So who knows? I might have a new hairdo. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I hope everybody's doing well. Our beautiful Sonia. I wore one of the shirts, my half holy half hood shirt yesterday. And so if you guys don't know, Sonia does some great shirts, and she just got me a new one. And I don't have, I brought it with me. It's in the big bag, not an overnight bag that I brought in. So if you guys have any custom, if you guys even have your own stuff, like you just want it on a shirt, you design it, but you don't feel like ordering it from, whatever what's custom ink. Oh Lord, those shirts are expensive. I remember going on custom ink. I can't remember what it was for. And I didn't realize how expensive. I think it was for a family reunion or something like that. It was years ago. I mean, it was like, it had to have been about 12 years ago. And I remember it was so unaffordable. I think just for 20 shirts, it was something $200 or $300, or maybe, I can't remember what it was, but it was expensive. I know it was way past what I could do. She does lovely work. You don't have to worry about the stuff peeling off. It's good quality. So if you guys need something, Sonia's your girl. She is your gal. And you know what? And every time you purchase something from her, I can promise you, Sonia's work speaks for itself. She has provided keychains, flyers, shirts, for victims' families. So, you are supporting a cause with her, a great cause, nonetheless. So it's always positive. Aw, Sonia already coming out. And be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgive one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Angie, good morning. Who else do we have? TL. I'm present. Bayou Babe is up in the house. Nice to see you, Angie. Manic Mama T is here. Good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Gigi for life. Who else do we have? November Rain. Good morning, November Rain. Pen 1010. Good morning. We got Wolf up in the house. It's nice to see everybody. Princess, good morning. Lulu Nana, nice to see you. And Pete, it's nice to have you as well. I don't expect, because I didn't go live yesterday, so I don't expect a whole lot of people being in here, especially since we changed our time and I'm coming an hour early. And that really is because just to give peace in the house. I had a cup of coffee. I'm plundering in Jen's cabinets for a coffee cup. And this is the one that popped out to me. I know it's past Christmas, but what a cute little coffee cup. How can you turn a coffee cup like this down, right? Hopefully the audio and visual are coming in well. It's showing excellent on YouTube, but on StreamYard, it's showing my stuff is going up and down. I know it is cute. I got to tell you, my coffee tastes better in this cup for some reason. I always say that to my favorite cup in the morning. So before we get started, I just wanted to say good morning to everybody. And we got, I've still got all those documents. I'm going to be working on that this afternoon to go through so I can, highlight and pin out and just talk about this important stuff. I am going to be going live later this evening, probably around 6:30. I'll be coming live with you. We're going to do a rundown of Alec Murdaugh, what happened, where we're at. We're going to read through the documents, all the pertinent information that you guys need to know leading into this motion for new trial. Friday, we learned from paralegal Liz. She went there. And I kind of understand why we didn't get a whole lot of information, because the judge ordered it. The judge didn't really want anybody talking about the questions that were asked to the juror. Didn't really want anything disclosed because she doesn't want anybody. This is a very peculiar situation that we're dealing with in this situation. So what we're actually dealing with is, they've given their verdict a significant time ago. And now we're at an appeals process after they've given their verdict a significant time ago, and they're asked to come back into court and explain themselves, So it's like normal trials and jurors. Once you handed down your verdict, you're done. You don't really get called back in. Very, very rarely do you. But when it does happen, it happens pretty close to the time of the trial, but because of the allegations and everything, it took a little while to get here. And that's the first problem. The second problem is this particular juror. So now we're already dealing with an already unusual situation. And then you've got this particular juror that can't come for the hearing this week. And so the judge made special provisions for this particular juror to give testimony related to this motion for new trial on Friday. But the problem with that, and I'm sure it was really, there's a lot of honor system with our courts. And there's a lot of, things, if you don't follow the honor system, that you can get jammed up on. And people just follow the honor system because in the grand scheme of things, we want justice. Whatever that justice looks like, we want the right person behind bars for the right crime that they committed, right? That's really the name of the game. We don't want somebody there that doesn't belong there, and we don't want somebody there unjustly. That means that they were wrongly convicted or wrongly accused, or, somebody put the hands on the scales of justice. We want it to be just like everybody else. That's what our laws require, is that everybody be treated equally and everybody go through the process the same way. It's difficult here because we've got several different elements going on that they're trying to put into this motion for new trial that doesn't have anything to do with it. For example, the book deal, the ethics complaint, the reasoning for the egg lady to be tossed off the jury. Those are elements that really they don't rise to, they may rise, but in this case, the judge appears not to believe that they rise in this case. It doesn't sound like she's willing to entertain even hearing from Egg Lady. And Egg Lady is kind of the crux of their case, because they're basically saying that she was thrown off the case in an effort to sway the jury, because she would have been a holdout, or potentially a holdout. But there's no guarantee that she would have been even after all of this. She can't now say that she would have voted this way or that way. She didn't have that opportunity. So again, we have to, I don't think that she's willing to hear from Egg. I don't think Egg Lady's ever going to make debut in this hearing, even though the prosecutor or the defense wants her to. But I don't think it is, because at the end of the day, it really does matter on the deliberating body, and whether that deliberating body was swayed. If that deliberating body was swayed by any kind of conduct or vocals, utterances of the clerk, then yes, I do believe Alec would be entitled to absolutely a new trial. But the point in the crux of this is the clerk had to sway the deliberating body. It was the deliberating body that came up with the guilty verdict. The nuance in this particular case, again, comes back to Egg Lady, because the defense is trying to say that Egg Lady would have been the one, and that the clerk knew that she would have been the one to, oh, hey, Melinda, it's nice to see you. Good morning, love. Good morning. That she would have So she'd have to assuage that body. And not only that, but those affidavits are pretty strong that Murdaugh's defense team has. For example, them saying that the clerk spoke to everybody and told everybody not to be fooled by Alec Murdaugh, not to watch his body language closely. These are some of the allegations that were in those affidavits that the clerk said this to everyone. But it's awfully funny to me, if she said that to everyone, why didn't more people come forward? I don't think, in my opinion, I could be absolutely wrong, but in my opinion, when you have 12 jurors and you're coming from like a Bible state like South Carolina, and people go to church, and I don't want to put too much, because just because you are religious doesn't automatically say that you're doing the right thing all the time, because let's face it, a lot of us are sinners. That's why we turn to God. We're not living life right. There are many people that turn to God because they know they're not living life right, and that was the right life to live. So again, I just feel that, as imperfect as it sounds, I just feel that at least somebody, one other person would have come forward from that jury body. One person that says, what, I did hear her say that, and it did sway my mind, and I did pay extra close attention to Alec Murdaugh, and I, did notice his body language, or, I don't even know if that would rise to the level, but, did she sway their mind? I would have thought that at least one other person that was in the deliberating body, because only one or two jurors in this whole trial, which was, actually pretty decent, that were removed or replaced. I know that there was a 4-person that was changed out, and I know that Egg Lady was, tossed, and I'm sure it was pretty. She didn't seem really happy that she was tossed. I think it kind of embarrassed her, or she felt embarrassed about it, which again comes back to my original statement of, I kind of believe that the people that the Murdaughs have for the affidavit, to me, seem like somebody that feels like they were embarrassed or humiliated or felt wronged during the process. Not, excuse me, I'm hiccuping. Not somebody that that was there. So it feels like it's almost like retaliatory. And I don't know. I think that's almost a little too strong to say retaliatory, but it almost feels like that. I don't know what a more softer tone to retaliatory, but that's kind of what it feels like from these jurors. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, Josie. Good morning, Melinda. It's nice to see you. I don't know if I said good morning to you, Angela, but if I didn't, good morning. Let me see if there's any questions so far. Everybody's just saying good morning. You guys are just getting the sleep out of your eyes. Oh, thank you, November Rain, for posting that. Thank you so much. And so let me just go ahead and get on to one of the, I guess it's the statement of yesterday, who they had in the courtroom. They're not really going, but it kind of explains why we're not hearing a whole lot. And I do have a video to play. So just bear with me while I get this pulled up for you. I am working on 2 screens. So when I'm on the other screen and I'm reading, when you see the screen up, when I start reading, that means I'm on the other screen reading. So I'm not going to be able to see any of your comments. I'm not ignoring questions or anything like that. I'm not even looking at the screen with the comments on it. So let me go over here and get cracking on this. So it's a single juror testifies in the Murdaugh evidentiary hearing on Friday. Here's what we report. And this comes from News 19. And according to this article, they were there. And this is related to the last March. So it's been almost a year. The convicted double murderer was found guilty of killing his wife and son. But his attorney claimed the clerk of court, in this case, tampered with the jury. Now, you see that, tampered with the jury. The jury, in my mind, is the deliberating body. Until those alternates come to the deliberating body, they're just alternates. They're a part of the jury, but they're really not. They're only there to hear testimony throughout this entire process in case they have to replace one of them due to illness. Maybe one of them got in a car. There's been a lot of things that happened throughout these trials. I'm sure somebody was on the way to a trial one day and, was injured in the process. So they have to have these alternates because the trial, as unfortunate as it is, still have to go on whether a jury member is there or not. But again, News 19 was in the courtroom, and they said that the proceedings lasted about 40 minutes or 45 minutes rather, and that Judge Tolles questioned the juror for roughly 15 minutes. So it seems like a lot of discussion, about 30 minutes of discussion happened prior to the 15 minutes. Before the hearing started, Justice Tolles spoke to the media. That's why we really hear or get any video footage or anything like that, because when she spoke to the media, she asked them not to report any of the questions that she asked the juror or any of the responses. She asked them not to report the characterizations of the juror to keep them anonymous. So I'm pretty sure we can say like a female juror, male juror, but we can't describe, she's 5'9", blonde hair, blue eyes, lives in the, low country acres resort in low country. You can't do that. But I think they can say that the juror is a male or a female. And that's probably about as much characterization that I would think that the judge would be comfortable with, in my opinion. This is an effort to make sure that the other 11 jurors set to testify on Monday, which we're going to be there, don't see any of the news coverage ahead of time that might influence their testimony. Again, this really does come back to almost an honor system. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where, oh, good morning, Rebecca. It's nice to see you. She's asking, this is real life. This is a man's life that hangs in the balance of these rulings. We as a society have to take that seriously, because in our society, in our civilized society, we protect life, right? That's what we really try to do. But when somebody is so violent that they take life, even we as a society say they're too dangerous to live amongst us. So, but there's a process to get there. In South Carolina, the process was not that extreme for Alec Murdaugh. He got a life sentence, but that still means his entire life is going to be behind bars. And face it, when we hand down penalties like that, we want to make sure that the process went without a hitch. We want to make sure that all the I's were dotted and all the T's were crossed, because again, it is another human being's life we're dealing with and we're talking about. And whether that person deserves to be behind bars for life, that is a miserable way to live your life if you have not done anything wrong. So we as a civilized society say, we're going to make you prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person did it before we hand down that kind of verdict. And we're going to take people that have no relations to any of the victims, families, or anybody, peers, totally unbiased peers that are in your community, to listen to this case and deliberate on your behalf and tell us whether they think you are responsible for this crime. And this process is a very honorable process and requires honesty and you being proper in the process. So in this particular matter, they're saying, wait a minute, somebody violated our rights in the process, and that person was Becky Hill. But we also have to remember that this is also a defendant that was convicted of a double homicide and is spending the rest of his life behind bars. He has nothing to lose making these claims, whether they hold water or don't hold water. They have a very convincing argument here. I won't lie, right? We are all on the fence, in my opinion. I know I am. I am. We are all on the fence on how this is going to go. I truly believe he's not going to get a new trial. If Judge Taylor keeps it narrowly focused on the jury and Becky Hill, he's walking away without a trial. As soon as we hear Egg Lady come in or Judge Toll be willing to listen to Egg Lady, then we might have, something. But and again, that depends on what the jurors say. We may have a juror that goes up there and speaks to that judge and answers the question, and it takes Becky Hill. Because let's face it, we don't have the affidavits for any of the other jurors. The only affidavits that were made part of the public record was Egg Lady, and I think maybe that Bedhead Betty. That is a true statement. I won't lie. That is a true statement, Thomas. Bedhead Betty. Bedhead Betty reigns again, right? Yeah. So they're just, I think if we introduce the lady, they might have a little more meat to the bone, because then they're going to be exploring why she was relinquished, and if Becky did anything wrong when approaching it. But does she have a duty to let the judge know if a juror is speaking? Does she, I mean, because again, this is an honorable system that requires honesty and requires, a little bit of discipline, because you're listening to this complex murder case, and they're telling you can't discuss being on that jury. You can tell people you're on the jury, and you can tell people that you can't discuss what's going on. But that's about the limit to what you can really say when you're a juror. So at what that would be the question. At what point did she do something wrong? Because they're trying to say that there was now a Facebook post, but it was for the wrong juror. So if she had the wrong juror, would seem like it would have been an innocent mistake as opposed to deliberate. And again, I don't know if they can look at that and say that the intent was there. And maybe that's the reason why Judge Toll is not willing to listen to Egg Lady, because there's may have been enough supporting evidence that it could, if it wasn't her or her husband, that it could have been done by mistake as opposed to deliberately, So I'm not sure, but definitely something we need to discuss, and we are discussing. Let's keep going here. And it says, the courtroom proceedings last. Okay, so we're down here. This procedure, this is where she kind of gets into it. And she says this procedure is unique in that typically issues like this are raised immediately after rendering a verdict, Toll said to the courtroom. And we're now almost a year post verdict in this matter, which makes it a very unusual situation for you and for me to preside over. So she's still speaking to the media. And she says a single juror testified ahead of the meeting because of a scheduling conflict, and she could not be in Columbia this week. So Murdaugh's attorney says the Colton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill made comments to try and influence the jury to convict Murdaugh. Justice Toll is expected to ask each juror one by one about their intentions with or their interactions with Hill. It's one of the things that it's one thing to sit in a jury box, but now to be sitting in the witness box, Alex Bland said after a hearing. Bland escorted one single juror through the day. He represents 5 jurors during this evidentiary hearing. My part of my representation is to make sure that these jurors get in and out. They speak their conscience and they get back to their regular lives, Bland says. Bland said he was pleased how Friday's questioning went, and said it was in line with the rules she set previously for this hearing. The inquiry is what was on our mind on March 7th, not what's on our mind today, Bland said. That's not fair. If excuse me, I'm trying to read this. If that was the case, so many different outside influences have taken place. Articles, books, documentaries, people talking to you. We don't want jurors to be asked about their verdict a year after a trial took place, or even 2 years, or even a couple weeks. We want them to know that they have rendered the verdict based on their conscience, based on the testimony, based on the evidence, and based on the judge's instructions. That's what Justice Toll is trying to find out when she brings the rest of the jurors in on Monday. Toll said she also plans to question Hill. Going back and forth with defense attorney Dick Harpootlian, Toll indicated she thinks the day will start with some of the jurors' testimony. There will be a break for lunch. The court will resume with more juror testimony. Then Toll said state can call Hill, and then the defense can cross-examine her. I think we can conclude this Monday. She says she thinks they can conclude this Monday, which would be preferable, of course, Toll said. But I have, as you know, set aside more days if that were at all necessary. But I'm very hopeful of everybody's schedule. The court will be back in session on Monday, 9:30 a.m., and the Bullhorn Betty panel will be there. I did want to provide you guys just a little video. Hopefully you guys can see it. I can't see.
New trial. We learn more about how it will play out next week. Murdaugh was convicted last year of killing his wife and son.
Good morning,
But his attorneys claim the Clerk of Court in Colleton County tampered the jury. Our Sam Perez was in court here in Columbia, where former Chief Justice Jean Toll got her first chance to question a juror.
We were in the courtroom for just about 45 minutes, with Justice Toll questioning the juror for about 15 minutes. Before things got started, Justice Toll spoke with the media and asked us not to report on any of the questions she asked the juror or any of the responses. We're all asked not to report on characteristics of the juror to keep them anonymous. Justice Toll tells us this is an effort to make sure the other 11 jurors set to testify on Monday don't see any news coverage ahead of time that might influence their testimony.
This procedure is unique in that typically issues like this are raised immediately after the rendering of a verdict. And we are now almost a year in this matter, which makes this a very unusual situation for you and for me to preside over.
A single juror testified ahead of next week's hearing because that person had a scheduling conflict.
And I have to be honest with you, I'm excuse me. I'm glad that people have, because I haven't heard any, and of course I know there were other people there, and I really haven't heard anybody talking about the questions that were asked of the jurors, but I haven't really looked, too heavily into it. But so far, just a cursory review appears everybody's playing by the rules, and that's a good thing. Like I said, this is a man's life. If the judge asks you to do something, do it. It's for this, the process. And let's face it, we're all here for the process, right? Like we all want justice for these people. So again, it comes down to justice. And I'm still a little butthurt that Paul and Maggie don't have a headstone. I'm going to keep going back out there. Every time I go through South Carolina, I'm going to make it a point to stop by and take a picture of their sites and pay respect to them. And hopefully maybe one day we'll go by there and see a big, beautiful headstone that's rightfully deserving for those two victims. And it breaks my heart that still just a few months ago when I was out there, still nothing, almost a year post-verdict and almost 3 years since they were senselessly gunned down. So there is that.
And couldn't come to Columbia next week. Murdaugh's attorneys say Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill made comments to try and influence the jury to convict Murdaugh. Toll is expected to ask each juror one by one about their interactions with Hill.
One thing is sit in the jury box, but now they're sitting in the witness box.
Attorney Eric Bland escorted the single juror throughout the day. Bland is representing 5 jurors during this evidentiary hearing.
Those 5 jurors, in my opinion, are lucky. I truly like Eric Bland. I think he in this matter, he did the right thing because it's the right thing to do. He's represented a lot of clients pro bono, and I can't imagine how taxing that has to be on his office. But he did the right thing because it was the right thing to do, not because it was the easiest or the most cost effective. I can tell you that. So he, in my opinion, is a damn good lawyer.
Part of my representation is to make sure that these jurors get in and out, speak their conscience, and they get back to their regular lives.
Bland says that he was pleased with how Friday's questioning went and said it was in line with the rules Toll set previous for this hearing.
I really do like Judge Toll. Actually, to be honest with you, so far in all of these hearings from Judge Newman to Judge Toll, even the presiding, the Chief Justice, I can't remember, Chief Justice Beatty, they were just, they all seem very good at what, they're at the top of their profession also, but they just have this, they know how to do this, and they do it. I love it. They do it professionally. They do it cleanly. They really limit the scope. And they really hone in on the issue. Okay. The issue here is, were those jurors, ones that convicted Alec, were they swayed? I want to take a poll in here. I've already got one going, so we're going to do it by ones and twos. If you guys haven't gone out and hit the thumbs up button, please do. This is a new channel. We are trying to grow this channel. You guys know the problem I've been having, with this whole entire mess. So any help would be greatly appreciated. So don't forget to sub up here. Don't forget to sub up on our Bullhorn Betty TC account. Yes, Pinky. Let's not forget our hero, Creighton Waters. He was able to really explain and walk people through this intensive, extensive, overwhelming case and keep people's attention. This stuff, some of this stuff really got, especially in the financial crimes, it was a yawn fest, but he was able to pull everybody through it. And I even told him when I was out there, I'm like, Creighton, you're my hero. You're my hero. But you know what? Even though we have to look at why do we not like Jim Griffin and Dick Harpootlian? Do we not like them because they're not good attorneys? No, we don't like them because they are good attorneys, right? We need to watch them. We need to watch what they do, because even though I know some of you are like, I can't stand them, right? We don't like them. Pitchfork, right? But they have such great knowledge that'll help us, identify some possibilities for our next case. What are the defenses? There are only so many defenses that people can have. Let's start realizing the process that they're taking in these criminal cases and using it in knowing what the next step might be. Almost it's almost like, are they going to go this route? Or are they going to go this route? We can start identifying that earlier in these cases, how the case is going to play out at trial. So I really do like watching them. And I really do think they have a lot of great knowledge. Look how far they've been able to carry Alec Murdaugh so far. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but that's lawyering. Okay. For us to be here in this situation right now, where I'm here in South Carolina to watch this, this case, this is like, they're damn good lawyers, guys. Okay. Damn good lawyers. So we can't discredit that. Okay. Because we're going to be around them it looks like for a foreseeable future. This is, appeal one. We're not through the process yet. It sounds like they are fully committed to this process. They are friends with Alec. They've worked with Alec in the past. They have, that's their friend. We can have friends and still be completely disgusted with what they did. I don't think that their friendship is the same. You know, something like that will never make you the same. I mean, you know, the guy. I don't know if they believe he did it or not. You know, if they do believe he did it, they still are representing the heck out of him. I'm pretty sure that any kind of, you know, friendship has been diminished heavily. Whether they'll acknowledge it or not, it has been damaged heavily, in my opinion. So where are we? Are you going to Columbia Monday? I'm an hour away. Yeah, Pinky, I'm going to be there. I'll be out in front of the courthouse. We're going to be getting started ridiculously early because we got a lot of document that we're going to be going over. We're going to be setting up the hearing. So we'll be out there. I want to say, I think the hearing starts at 9:30. So we'll probably be out there live from the ground, from the grass out in front of there. I want to say about 6:30, if they'll let me on campus set up. Usually they'll let you on just to get, you know, to get set up and whatnot. They don't really say anything as long as because they have officers there and whatnot, but we'll get a position and we'll get set up and get live and make sure that we can stay in that position. I might end up setting up 2 cameras in different locations. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I got to go out there this afternoon, later today. I've got to go out there and kind of scope out the courthouse and just, you know, go ahead and get some of my content photos before we start getting hustle and bustle. I like to have pictures of the courthouse, pictures of the, you know, the grounds. I use those later in the productions and whatnot, the videos. So we'll see what we're going to do. That's all up in the air, but I have a feeling we're still going to go ahead and start around 6:30, 7:30, the latest here on the Bullhorn Betty channel, because again, we have a massive amount of documentation that you need to be informed with before we go into the motion for new trial. This is an evidentiary hearing. As previously stated, that's why the jurors are there. They're providing the evidence in this matter. So I'm trying to decide, Pinky, maybe a meetup. Yeah, we'll be out there. Paralegal Liz is coming too. And It's Me Too is going to be rooming with me. So we're going to have a little entourage anyways. If you want to come and support the cause, you know, on out, you guys can all conversate, because that's basically Karen knows how it's done. I'm usually yapping and have no time for anybody until the camera goes off, but you guys can sit and chat and talk and make sure I'm saying everything correctly. Every now and again, I'll say something wrong. Carol's like, well, you know. So no matter what, we'll make sure that we have up-to-date information. If you're there, I'm putting you to work. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm putting you to work. We'll have you hold signs up behind me. Free Alec Murdaugh. Really get the social media going. Go to Detroit. Oh, geez, Louise, MJ, Detroit. I don't know. I'm sure Detroit's like everything else. You know, you have a good area and a bad area, because I know some people from Detroit that absolutely love Detroit. But, you know, somebody like me from Florida, and we hear Detroit, man, they just like, I'm terrified to even visit, you know. But I'm going to Chicago. Like, you know, I'm going to be flying into Chicago in the near future, you know, at some point. So it's like, you know, I kind of have the same feeling for Chicago as well. It's like, you know, but I met my cousin got married. They're expecting a kid. And I met this one gal, and she's from Chicago. So I was Detroit Lions. Yeah. And I was talking to her, and I'm like, is it really that bad? And she goes, yeah, there's a whole area that's really bad. She goes, but I love Chicago. She's like, it's the best place on earth. She absolutely loves the place but she lives in a good place. There's, you know, I think it's just like, and even in my town, You've got some really, really, really nice areas, and you got some really dangerous areas. So it really is everywhere. And I think it's just because those two places had the spotlight put on them, and it just, and that's sad because that ruins. Because think about it, like I wouldn't, if I wasn't in true crime, of course I'll probably Detroit sooner than later, right? But and I'm laughing, but I'm not joking. I mean, it's not really funny, but I will probably most likely be there at some point. Just like think about it. We're in Rogersville, Tennessee. Who would think something like, a kid going missing in a place like Rogersville, Tennessee? There's not really a lot of children that go missing, even in Fruitland, Idaho with Michael Monkey Vaughn. Like, what? I was watching this one documentary. No, actually, I don't think it was. I think it was one that we did on here, and I keep thinking it was Lewis Lint. Lewis Lint was the case that we covered on here. Really weird guy, bad guy, and he specifically took his truck and his van to the country. That was his thing. He wasn't a big city guy. He liked the country. He liked, hunting in the country. And so, because I think the way the article read is because he knew that usually kids that were riding bikes would be alone because it's the country. It's not a hustle and bustle and stuff. So he would actually prey in the country. And it makes you wonder, is there's got to be more. If there's one, there's more, right? That's the way my brain thinks. My brain thinks like, this can't be the only one. This is the only one that got caught. That's just how my brain functions. I don't think that anybody is, that their brain functions so much more advanced. I mean, there's a few people that have higher IQs, get things like that. But I don't know. Has anybody ever, that's a question I'd like to know. Has anybody ever tested the IQ of some of these, like maybe even the serial killers, that we have out there? I'm interested in knowing, because I know that they have studied the brain extensively in this, and I know that they've identified, at least from what I hear, I didn't look at the specific studies or whether they were published or whether they were founded or whatever. I just heard through the grapevine. So we have to apply the telephone logic in this, that what I'm saying may not be completely 100% accurate, right? But I heard that, what did I hear? I'll have to come back to that. What was I talking? I went on a tangent and just lost track. I'm still exhausted. I don't have a dog in the fight at this point. MJ, what is it? Grammy, the game. Oh, I didn't, I'm not going. I actually, and I kept it under wraps because I didn't want anybody ruining it for me, but I'm not going to be able to go. I was actually applied and approved to volunteer at the Super Bowl. So I was actually going to, and they're still sending me stuff, but I didn't go through the training and stuff like that. They still expect me, so I've got to cancel my account. But I was actually going to be a volunteer and approved. I was approved for the volunteer in Las Vegas. So it was good. I was really excited to go and to be a part of that historical event. But I applied for that over a year ago and was accepted over a year ago. And that was prior to the lawsuit and everything like that. So it's not, I just don't really have the, extra funds to go out there, spend, because that was one of the things is they pay for everything once you get there, but I still have to get there. And, so it's just one of those things. It was a bucket list item, but I figured, this is not the last Super Bowl that will ever happen. And I'll volunteer at a more opportune time. And you never know, maybe there will be another Super Bowl in Florida, and when there is, I will be there. So that's kind of, it kind of sucks a little bit, but to be honest with you, I really haven't even watched a whole lot of football this year. I don't even know who's going to the Super Bowl. And it's so it's not really, it was more for a historic event and to say that I was there than it really was for anything. And we'll see. I've got to reach out to them and let them know I'm not going. I'm a NCAAF girl. Go Clemson. Aw. Lions play at 49ers. Okay, guys. What's the spread? Who's ponying it up? Are we going to start playing fantasy? Ooh, that would be fun now that it's over. That's what we need to do next year. I remember in my office, we played like fantasy football and we did some, like raffles and stuff when I was at the CPA firm. We did a lot of cute little stuff. Maybe we'll do that. And it was real fun. It was really fun. We even did like a lottery, like the lottery tickets. We all pulled our money and we would buy a lottery tickets, like the quick picks. And, you know, sometimes we would win a little bit of money and we'd all vote to roll it over to the next pot, and then we'd buy more tickets. And we never really won anything significant. I think I spent more money into that than I ever got out. But the fantasy football stuff was fun. And I won the fantasy football at least twice. I think I think I was there like 3 or 4 years. I think 3 or 4 years I collected from the fantasy football about $200-300. And they had another one, and I think it was the spread. Like we voted on like what we thought the score would be at like the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. And whoever got the closest number right won the pot. And so it was always fun. I don't. If you'd like, oh, thank you. Yes, we're still looking for the camera. We've got halfway through our camera. We're trying to get a new camera for this. I've got a Canon, a Rebel T5. It's way outdated. It doesn't do what I need it to do. The quality is not as good as some of these newer cameras. And as you know, everything is through the roof and not something that I can afford with ad revenue from this channel. So if you guys would like to contribute to the camera, please consider doing so. It's obviously not a requirement. It's just, you know, if you want to participate and want to help out, then that's really the need of this channel. Then we don't really have a whole lot of equipment needs right now except the camera. We've got, you know, this MacBook Pro, even though I hate it. It works, it functions. We've got an iPhone. It gives great videos. I've got a Samsung that was donated by It's Me Jen. You know, so that has even better quality. Jeez Louise, that Samsung, it records in 6K and 8K or something like that. It's like nice. It's nice, but it's I gotta keep it cleared so because those higher K resolutions really do take up a lot of space on the phone. So it's one of those things I can use it for a day, but then I've got to download it immediately. I have a camera I'll bring also. Awesome. Yeah. I'll be live and you'll see where I'm at. And I'm sure if you're only like 45 minutes away, just pop into the live to see where I'm at. Like I will be at Richland courthouse, but I don't know because again, I haven't been there yet. So I'm going to be going later this afternoon and getting an idea where I'll be. If you want to reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com, I'll give you some contact information and we'll keep in touch so you know where we are during this. If this lasts, I don't want people saying that Bullhorn Betty had a vacation. Okay, I mean they're going to say it anyways. It doesn't really matter at this point. But that article did say something that I didn't know because they did do 3 days. They did do 3 days window. We rented the hotel for 2 days. So there actually and at this point, with me checking in today, obviously can't cancel it. So there may be a day that we're going to have to find something to do. Maybe we'll go over and take you guys for a ride, God willing, because the internet sucks in all these places, but especially low country, it really sucks out there. I wish I can get a live drive for you guys. So I'll have to check out to see if my AT&T hotbox, this thing right here, can work out there, and maybe we'll do a drive tour through and show you where everything is from where Stephen Smith, he had his accident to the Zell property. Buford's not too far away. There's the whole, that I got to tell you where they were. Oh my gosh, that place, that whole dock that we saw, Paul and all of them before they got the boat accident walking. I went there and I was blessed with the prettiest sunset I had ever seen. It was gorgeous. I've got to show you guys those pictures. It was just beautiful. Almost, I don't want to put it up there like with majestic, but it was really, really beautiful. I understand the appeal there. I got there right at dusk, and I ended up going into the bar. I didn't do any, and I had never planned on going in there. If I plan on going in there to record, I'm recording, and nobody's going to stop me, right? But I never had planned on recording inside the bar. I actually did a little video and footage going into the bar, but that was where it stopped. And I just really wanted to get a feel from the people inside there, about what they knew. They knew. I mean, I didn't deny who I was when they were saying, "Hey, what are you here? What brings you here?" Normal conversation, right? They knew I wasn't from there. I mean, pretty obvious. I don't fit in the country very much, unless I try to fit in, right? So I got to talking to a gentleman that was looks like he's a regular there. And we got to talking about some things and about the Murdaughs and stuff like that. And that's really what I went in there for, is just to get an idea of who they are to this community, even as far away as Buford. They're from Low Country, Colton County. Buford is a little ways away. What is the Murdaughs to them? And Murdaughs are somebody special, they hold a lot of weight in South Carolina, even after this whole thing with Alec Murdaugh. It has damaged the Murdaugh name, but don't think they don't still have a lot of power to wield here. They're still in high powered positions, or like business wise. They all come from money. They can, people still, I still feel that people still fear speaking about them or speaking ill of them for the repercussions that could come their way. And that's a problem for me, that, to be that fearful of one family stretching from Colton County all the way over to Low Country, all the way over to Buford. It's just shocking to me. I guess I don't know how to say other than that. It's pretty shocking. They had a lot of power, and they wielded it. We give people power that that's the whole voting process and stuff. I'm not going to get on a diatribe on it, but we give power to people. I mean, that's what we do, because we have to work, we have to take care of our family, and we need somebody to run this country. So we give power to people because we trust they'll do right with that power. We don't want them to do malicious stuff with that power. We don't want them to use that power to game the system or to one-up themselves over everybody else. We want this system to be proper, and we want to hold our officials and our politicians accountable to us, to the people that put them into office. And this is a family that has held a position for many, many, many years, 100 years, being, going in our U.S. history books, because so far to this date, and I don't know with our new laws and, we're trying to change people from being able to do that, to hold that kind of power for so long. We're doing term limits. We're finding ways, us as citizens are finding ways and pushing our politicians to find ways to fix this problem. So this doesn't happen in this country, where one family can become so powerful that one family almost acts like a king or queen over their community, as opposed, being a person acting in best interest. Now, just because they're king and queen, are they not acting in the best interest? In my opinion, when I say it like that, because sometimes I feel that they're acting in their own best interest before everybody else's, and that's exactly the opposite of what their job is. What their job is not to think of self first. It's to think of the collective body first. think of them second, third, or fourth, right? They should be at the bottom of the list. And that's one of the bad parts about becoming a politician for somebody else, is that you are acting on for the benefit of somebody else. Putin uses power. Remember when the polls went down in South Carolina abruptly? That was call from the 100% he could win in South Carolina. Truth. And and Dick Harpootlian is running for office. Is it a U.S. Congress position or is it a state Congress position? For whatever reason, I think he was going for U.S. Congress position as opposed to state. I'm not sure though, but he is running for office. I heard that he is running, and he's not running for like a position related to lawyer, like the prosecutor or the state prosecutor or, the public defender's office, whatever it is. I don't think that he's running for something like that. I'm pretty sure it's Congress. I think he's running to either be a House representative or a Senate member, I think is what one of the two. I didn't look into it that much, but I do know he's running for office. I just don't know which office he's running for. Good morning, Emma. It's nice to see you, love. Good morning. All the poll buttons made me laugh. I know. I try to make it a little comical. It's just to remind you, don't have to forget to go hit the thumbs up button, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. I was going to say, listen to this. I know I got some jokesters in here, plus, all the other channels to boot. I was going to make it laugh. And I was going to say, or should your DNA be around Bullhorn Betty's neck? Oh, Lord. And I thought that could be really taken out of context. We don't want anybody trying it, okay? Let's be honest. But I had to delete. Like that. I can see where this can go terribly, terribly wrong. But it's all just to remind you not to forget to hit the thumbs up button. MJ, it's nice to see you, love bug. Yeah, it's Grammy. He's digging his own hole. Let's see. The indictment for Stacy is coming, and he keeps yapping. You know what? I heard the rumor, but the rumor of his looming indictment actually came from Stacy himself. And I've always cautioned it because he's getting, it felt like he was, people were starting to ask him the questions he didn't really want to answer. And I try to, because I do believe he does have some disabilities. And because I think he has some disabilities, I try to add those equations. It's not obviously not a perfect science, but I do try to add the equation that he is, in some respects, childlike, in certain respects. And I try to take what childlike behavior might be. And children, when they don't want to do something, have this weird coping mechanism that's called lying, and they're scared that they are going to hurt somebody's feelings. They don't want any more conflict. They don't want any resistance. So make up something to kind of reduce that resistance. For example, if you've already went up on this chat, that chat, and that chat, now they want you to come back to answer these follow-up questions. Now that they got to analyze what you said on this chat, that chat, and that chat. Maybe, now he might have an indictment. I'm just speculating here. So there's, I've got nothing. The only thing I've heard is that Stacy said that that this is going around. And I heard that he said that to multiple creators on this platform, that he was going to be arrested in the next week or so. That's what was going around. And I said, and when I realized it was Stacy, the one spreading it, I asked people, are you sure he's not pulling your leg? Are you sure he just doesn't want to talk to you anymore? Are you sure? Because the information that I was getting was that the attorney that's supposed to be representing him was going to quit on him if he talked to anybody anymore, even media, even regular old basic mainstream media, basic questions, nothing to that's what was said. And again, it was said to multiple creators because multiple creators reached out to me and said almost the same exact identical story from one person to another. Which again was a little weird, right? To have the same exact story from one person to the other. Right? I mean, I guess, but it almost seemed like it was stated exactly the same too. And I mean, I have conversations with people all day long about, say a topic of Alec Murdaugh, but the conversation from person to person isn't identical. It's the same topic, but definitely not an identical conversation. So that was something, and I asked, now I don't know if it's true or not true, but I did ask enough to find out, like, are we sure that, he's not pulling a Don and Candace, right? I mean, that's what I'm going to call this, where you start playing games when there's an active investigation going on. So that's what a Don and Candace is. That's what they do. That's the first family I've ever met that has ever done that. So, are they pulling a Don and Candace? I don't know. Too many conflicting statements. I'm curious at what he said on that newest. He went on the newest channel to speak to that lady there. I didn't get a chance. I saw that it is there. I saw that there was another interview, and I haven't watched it yet because when I saw it, it was this morning. I traveled a lot yesterday. When I wasn't traveling, I was visiting with Jen. I only get to see Jen like maybe once a year. So I got an opportunity to see her, which was nice. I'm still here. I'm in one of her rooms, right? So I just didn't have an opportunity to really research yesterday. And, when you're with friends and you're yapping and talking, and the last thing on your mind is research, right? They were talking about doing my hair. I'm not paying attention. Am my hair going to be dead? Am I going to get dead? Am I going to get dead here? I need to be dead. If nothing more, we're going to get a cut, but maybe we'll get the dark out. I don't know. I'm really contemplating on going back. I don't want to go back to my dark color, my dark roots, like this dark. I think it's too medium. I'm thinking about maybe like a dirty blonde or a light brown, just something to tone it just a little. Like I've been blonde for so long, and I used to change my hair I used to change my hair color a lot. I've been red, brown, I've been calico, I've been, this is the longest I've ever kept one hair color. Okay. I'm like going on 3 years with the blonde. I'm done with the blonde. Like I'm tired of it. The only reason why I kept it is because I refuse to change it, especially with people, that's just my personality. So now I want to change. I can't stand it anymore. I need the blonde out. And then I go back to the blonde. I always come back to the blonde, but I always have to change it up. I change my hair literally. My mom will have to tell you, I don't know, about 3 or 4 times a year. Pre 2019 or pre 2020 rather, my hair color was changed literally, I don't know, every 3 months. Absolutely dirty blonde. Yeah, I just think something a little darker. It's too light. I'm not out in the sun. Whenever I'm out in the sun and my skin tone's darker brown than the lighter hair is fine, but my skin tone starts getting lighter. I like the darker hair. I don't know why. Just is. Oh, thank you, Just Debbie. You're always so sweet. I wish we had a lot more sweet people. We're building it, right? We got a good few people that are on the crusade of good. So, that's at the end of the day what we're looking for. We're not trying to save everybody. We're just trying to save the few that want to be saved, right? So it's one of those things. I mean, we're out here, we're beating the pavement. We're looking into these cases. We're doing what we can. We go a lot deeper than mainstream media. I can tell you that. We actually give a crap. I care about Maggie and Paul. I got to tell you, it breaks my heart to go out there and know that they do not have a headstone. It bothers me. It really does. Do you think any other news anchor or a talking head from CNN to NBC to whatever, ABC, Fox News, do you think any of them care? I mean, seriously, do you think anybody out there in mainstream media gives a damn whether Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh have a headstone? Do you? No, they don't. They don't give a crap. Because if they gave a crap, there would be a story. There's no story. They don't give a shit. I do. I care that there's no headstone for 2 murdered victims, no matter who murdered them. I don't care if it was Alec or if it was a third party, somebody that they didn't even know. I don't care. They're still victims, and they deserve a little bit of respect, especially from their own family. I don't think Maggie's family, Maggie's sister or mother and father should have to pay for that headstone. The Murdaughs brought that headstone. The Murdaughs. Those 2 people are dead because of the Murdaugh, a Murdaugh. Senselessly. All over money. Money. Greed. They deserve a headstone. But no, I don't think mainstream media gives a damn about whether they have a headstone or not. So, I mean, we get a little... I gotta stretch my legs. Sorry, guys. I gotta stretch my legs out. I've been sitting on them. Oh, I'm trying to keep it quiet. I'm so thankful that Jen's house is like a split floor plan. So at least she's on the other side, but it sucks because at 3, well, I let her wait until about 4 a.m. But about 4 a.m. I got up and made coffee. She showed me where it was. She knew. I'm like, put your earplugs in, shut your door. I'm going to be up ridiculously early and I don't want to wake you up. They did get a verdict on Mallory, but the problem is, it feels sad, is that I feel like Mallory got screwed because they got this huge windfall settlement, but there's none in the pot. You can't get blood out of a turnip. There's not a whole, I mean, the families are going to get something. There is that conservatorship, and I'm sure they're going to have to take something out of that. I know they're taking legal fees, right? I wonder how good their friendship's going to be once that legal fund runs out. I have a funny feeling that Dick and Jim they're going to be with the wind. I don't know. I think they're disappointed. I think that they're hurt. I really do, because even as much fighting as they do, like, Jim is the one that gives it away. You can see kind of the disappointment in his eyes, in my opinion. So, yeah, she did. What does it say? I'll be asking my girl, Jen, when she's got it. Sabine, it's nice to see you. Our oldest son should do something about that. What's going on here? Let me go back up. I'm not taking sides. Once you order a headstone, it can take up to 3 years for it to come in and be set. Yeah, and I get it. There are some that take time to get there, but isn't Randolph the one that died 3 days later? If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure his whole headstone is done. But you know what? Maybe the headstone was previously there, and they needed to carve in the numbers. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a plausible explanation, but when and I got to apply, Stephen Smith to this, because once his mother got the money for the headstone, that headstone went in fairly quickly after the money was raised. So I guess it's possible, but 3 years, that seems awfully long. Let me see what the typical turnaround time for headstone in Georgia. Well, they say the typical, but this is may not be a typical situation either, you know. But they say on here typical is about 4 to 6 months. Some are saying 8 to 10 weeks, 12 to 14 weeks, 14 to 16 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. So it does vary, but it doesn't seem like it varies years though. I don't know. Like I said, it's a possibility though, but I don't know. I think somebody dropped the ball. Maybe, you know, maybe with the whole thing of Alec being in jail, they may just not have known where, you know, who was going to do what. Maybe they thought Alec was going to be able to do it with the money and the conservatorship. They just weren't. Maybe there was just a communicate. I mean, I really do hope it's, you know, that just got away from them or something like that. But, you know, I mean, 3 years after, at this point, it's starting to feel more willful than anything to me. But hopefully, you know, maybe they needed to wait until the settlement was done, like where Buster got the settlement, you know, the $500,000 settlement. Maybe he just didn't have the money to do it. And once that settlement, then maybe that's when the 6 to 8 month clock would start, you know, on the headstone. So we hopefully, if that's the case, then it should be going in, you know, any time now, or, you know, within the next few months, I'm hoping. And I come through here, this is kind of like the artery that gets me to the East Coast of, you know, the United States, the I-95 corridor. So I'm always coming through here, you know, or maybe they don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm trying to, because, you know, I mean, the way I look at it is like, you know, maybe Alec could have been heartless enough to, you know, do this too. But some of those family members that his brother, you know, that got up on that stand, what was his name? I can't remember which brother it was. John Marvin. I think it was John Marvin. When John Marvin got on that stand, he was visibly upset. I mean, this, you know, he seemed like he really cared for and had a great relationship with his nephew, Paul. I think this is very hard for them, but again, I feel like they care. So I don't think that, you know, I'm not sure if all of it is malicious, but did somebody forget that they still need a headstone, you know, with all the craziness going on? You know, maybe they got forgotten about in the shuffle. I mean, I'd hate that, but it's just to think that they could get lost in the shuffle is what's breaking my heart. So I'm hoping that there's a reasonable explanation, but I'm starting to you know, the reasonable explanations are kind of going by at the wayside at this point, the longer it takes to get that headstone out there. You never know. I haven't been there in months. So, you know, we might be pleasantly surprised. We don't know. We might go there and find out that it's, you know, that it just that they just needed to wait until Buster got some cash flow. Maybe they had already had it pre-ordered or already designed and they just needed to pay for it. You know, there may be some other, an absolute reasonable explanation. But if I keep coming through here and not seeing a headstone, it's going to make me feel like they don't give a damn. I am kind of feeling like they don't. It's been 3 years. Hell, Alec has been convicted for almost a year. Come March, which is, you know, we're rolling into February right now. In 2 more days, we're going to be in February. We're rolling into February. So March, it's been a year since Alec was convicted. We're a victim-based channel here, and that's why we really, you know, hone in on that and why it upsets us for something like this. And again, this family, even with all their problems, seemed like they loved each other. I mean, it didn't seem like that love of one another was lacking. Seemed like they did a lot of stuff with family, seemed like they loved their family, seemed like they just enjoyed, If you go bring flowers for Maggie, I feel so bad for her, especially what moments. I know, by you, babe, because she was running toward the where she was. There was no doubt. There was no doubt in my mind before she lost her life. She saw her own son killed by his father. I just can't. That unnerves me. That just freaking unnerves me. I love my peeps. I do. My local peeps, My local peeps. The solar panels. I love my peeps. Solar panels, right? It's so funny because he's like, more to F the FPL. He likes giving the middle finger to everybody, right? I love him too, man. I do. He fights for the veterans. He fights for the veterans really, really hard. And he goes to the mat for the vets in our county. There's no better person to fight for the vets than this particular person. But I got to tell you, he goes to the mattress for the vets. He does. And I got to meet because we're with the VASH vouchers, which is like veteran type of house vouchers that every state gets so many of them, and it supposed to help, house our homeless veterans. And they're very limited for whatever reason. I don't understand how you can limit services for veterans that went over and willing to give their life so we can live here free, right? So we can argue with each other and be nasty and do all that. These people give us the freedoms to do that, right? And I don't understand how we can limit benefits to them. I don't know if we should be kissing their feet for the life that we have. And we take so much for granted. We are so we have blinders on so much that we don't realize how good we have it. So many people are over here complaining about how crappy our country is without even ever seeing one other country. It's insane. You've got people literally coming over here in droves from Mexico. In droves. You think life great over there? Just curious. If it was so great in these countries, why are they trying to come here so bad? We need to look at that. I've got a lot of articles. I wasn't going to do them on this session. I might do them. So I've been doing a lot of reading because you guys know how I feel about the drug epidemic that we are facing here in this country. It's bad. It's causing a lot of what we cover here on this channel, in my opinion, from the children to the missing to the murdered. A lot of this has to do with substances and alcohol and the effects it has on the brain and the lack thereof, and us losing control of ourselves or being irate as we're coming down or angry or, and just that rage that it builds up from this stuff. It's causing a lot of problems. And so we know that it's being funneled. We see the work that Grady Judd does. We applaud Grady Judd for his exposure of this disgusting trade that's going on. And it's with the drug. There's so much more to it than with the whole Mexico. Our government is literally engaging in human trafficking and HT and ST. Our government is. They know that people are using that border and they're leaving it open, allowing them to do business. What do you call that? We had Grady Judd here do a sting where people from Cuba were forced over here for ST. They didn't even want to leave Cuba. I'm so sick of these people standing up on their high horse and saying that they just want a better life. They just come over here to get a better life, and how dare us? Yeah, really? We got a lot of sick, twisted, rich people over here that like to do a lot of sick, twisted things with people from that they can abuse. And our government is giving them access to do that. Because let's talk about what really, are there good people wanting to come over here for a better life? I absolutely believe 100% there are. I absolutely believe there 100% are. And I feel bad for those people. I really do. My heart is for them. But we also know there's a lot of bad people coming over there with them, doing horrible things. And this is why we can't do it this way. There's a proper way to do it so all the safe people that want a better life get access to it. And the people that put us in danger don't. We've had a lot of crime. We're being ran out of our homes. There's no homes for anybody. Where are all of our homes going? Somebody explain that to me. Can somebody explain to me how I work every single day and have no affordable health insurance? But California is now giving every single person that crosses that border free health insurance off their taxpayers' backs when they don't even hardly provide good free health insurance to the taxpayers that are there in their community. I would be furious. Furious. And I'm sorry. You know, some of you guys may think I'm being mean and everything like that. Okay, well then just say I'm being mean. But I'm telling you, we are watching something really bad. We're watching drugs that are poisoning Americans coming across the border while we are being invaded by the same people that are poisoning us. And everybody seems okay with it. And I just, for the life of me, can't figure it out. I really can't. I don't understand what people are missing here. Are you guys really that far disconnected to understand the people that are killing us by the hundreds of thousands through these drugs are also the ones that are infiltrating our country? Has anybody understood that yet? Anybody? Because every time we come to Grady Judd, this stuff ain't coming from China. Sorry. That ship sailed when it comes to this stuff. It's coming from one specific location. One specific. So here's what I read this morning. So the DEA agency, you know, an attorney, Merrick, whatever, Garland, right? Merrick Garland or whatever his name is. He's up there now, ran it 3 years. They're attesting right now that the drug epidemic has killed over 100,000 people last year alone. Last year alone. I think that's what the article said. It might be last year or 2022. Maybe it's 2022. I don't. Either way, it was over 100,000 people that has succumbed to drug overdoses. 100,000 in our country. Right? This has been going on for 10 years. It closed up a little bit. Think about it. When Pam Bondi was our attorney general, she shut the pill mills down. But here's the kicker. What are they doing with the addicts? In every other crime, victims have victim advocacies. They have help and resources. But somebody that's chemically dependent to something and that substance is now being removed, what are you doing to that chemical dependent person? There's no help. There's no resources for them. Every drug facility is overbooked. There's waiting lists a mile long. If that doesn't show you the true gravity of this issue that's going on down south, I don't know what's going to. But it's really significant. It's really serious. We need to open our eyes. We need to shut it down. I applaud Texas for what they're doing. It's not that I want good, wholesome families coming here for a new life. I absolutely do. I absolutely do. If you guys know me and my story, you know my family. I'm a Heinz 57. I have a whole section of my family that are Hispanic. So I don't want to hear this that I have something like I have a Mexican wrestler in my family. Okay, he's a big dude. You don't want to mess with Bullhorn Betty. I got a wrestler. George is going to kick my ass. But, seriously, we need to do something. We need to pick our eyes. But this is not the conversation I was getting into. So the DEA, under Merrick Garland leadership, after 3 years, right, of him being the leader, they finally come back with an arrest of 200 people. Sounds great, doesn't it? Oh, my God. We're finally putting a dent in this. Okay. All right, DEA. Traffic ring, this huge traffic ring, it only netted 200 people. 200 people. And it only netted 37 kilos? Are you kidding me? Don't be patting yourself in the back. That's a freaking joke. That is a joke from the DEA. Grady does that on a daily basis. On a daily basis. I'm over-exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Seriously. A 2022, 23 Sting, something like that, 37 kilos. And then you go to another news article, right? You go to another news article, and we've got somebody from the city of Kentucky or some, I can't even, you know what? Let me go to I'm going to read this stuff to you. We're going to do this. We're going to do it. Screw it. We're going to do it. Here we go. Let's go through all of it. Because I was actually going to talk about it. I wasn't going to talk about it on this slide, but what the heck not? We're already in the conversation. I'll get it done and over with. Okay, we got 2. Let me get the third one up. Because this is what, when you see this like this, you'll understand why I'm so angry. Okay, let's share the screen. There it is, right there. So on this particular one, this is from Fox News. Sorry, I'm having some lagging issues. So if you guys are getting the lag, I do apologize. But I did want to read this article, and it's going to take a little while for it to come up. I don't know why it's not doing it. It's telling me I've got to join for this content. I'll look on my phone because I've read it on my phone. They don't want to give it to me on here. That's fine. Give me just a second. Let's listen. We're going to have a little commercial. Sorry, it's...
Innovation doesn't happen.
We'll turn that off until it's ready. Okay. There we go.
In Colorado, investigating an overdose death.
Oh, that's definitely not it. They won't let me read it.
10 times more powerful.
Okay, so I'm not going to do that. Give me just a second. I'll read the article. It's just not coming up on my MacBook for some reason. But I read the entire article, and basically what it was is that these DEA agents made an arrest. The arrest was 200 people. It was from multiple locations, including Alaska. So for a DEA sting like that, I just expected, it wasn't even the amount of people. Like they're going to say, oh, we got all these people off. We're never going to know how those court cases are going to go. I don't want the people. I mean, I want the people off the streets nonetheless, but I want the actual substances off the streets. And when you have an investigation and you have your DEA agents doing this investigation, I want like 37 bricks. That's it. I just expected like 200 or 300 because you know they're shipped like that. You know they are. they're not being shipped over. I mean, maybe some of the smaller ones are probably shipping stuff over here, 2-3 bricks at a time, maybe something like that to get through whatever. But I would just expect a massive haul from this. And I just didn't feel like this was the massive haul that it was proclaiming to be. Let me see. See if it'll let me read it here. Let me read it on here. Maybe they only let me read it once. I did read it. I read the whole entire article and then I sent it to myself. And now it won't open up for me. So either way, that's it. But then right behind that article, let's check this out, is another article. This is what I expect from the DEA agents. Right there. Oh, you can't see it. Burn it. There you go. Keeps popping me off. Look how many pounds. Look how many pounds were recovered in Tennessee. Tennessee can do a better job at getting this stuff off the streets than our DEA agents. But hey, you know what? I guess I'm this conspiracy theorist, right? Nothing to see over here. We're doing our job. We're doing our job, public. We got 37 bricks off the streets with our huge, massive task force that we cost you guys millions of dollars. But Tennessee, that only cost you half the money, was able to get 10 times more off the streets. You see what I'm saying? It sure sounds good the way the DEA posted this live or posted their information. Am I frozen? Can you guys at least still hear me? Looks like I'm frozen on my screen for some reason. Let's see. Did I freeze? All right, hold on a second. Let me refresh. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was frozen. I don't know how much you guys were able to see, but I just have a problem with Tennessee having a more impactful bust than a DEA agency. A DEA agency. And they said they're breaking up the ring that funnels this stuff through here. Well, I think they got the wrong one. Because clearly Tennessee has a bigger stockpile than what they were able to take off the street. The DEA agents are actual drug enforcement agency. And they're touting it. When I saw that, I'm thinking, oh, good. When I went to read this article, guide, I won't lie to you. I thought that this was going to be something I could talk to you guys and say, they're really doing that. Finally, people are starting to see that this is not good. They're starting to, make some steps forward in the right direction. You got 200 people. And and that title was so perfect. And I'm thinking, oh, this is great, man. They're really doing their job. And then you read the article, and when I heard 37 bricks, I'm like, this is a joke. This is a joke. This is a joke. DEA, 37 bricks. What did you do? Give them a heads up so they can make sure that they were gone? I'm just curious. That's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. And then in the same whole thing, you got 3 other ones. That's not the only one. Look at this. Look at this one. Look at this one. Drug investigation in Williamson County. 10 indictments, 56 charges. This is another one from Tennessee. So how is Tennessee able to get all this stuff off? Pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds. And the DEA gets 37 kilos. What is 37 kilos? Maybe my calculations are off. Let's find out. Let's look at Google, shall we? How much does a kilo weigh? I know it's 1,000 something, but what? Oh. 1 kilogram, 1,000 grams. That's it. So 1,000 grams. So we're going to take, I knew it was 1,000, but I didn't know if it was grams or what it was. So, go to the calculator. So we have 37,000, right? That's what it was. How many grams? How many grams are in a pound? Hold on. I might be wrong, but I think 37 kilos is too small. How many grams in a pound? So you got almost 50. It's almost, I'm going to say it's 53.6. 53.6 if you round it up. It says, this is what they say a pound is. Can you guys see that? It says 53.592. So it's almost 543.6. So we're going to take that and divide that by that. I messed up. Hold on here. Let me do this. 37 divided by 4. We'll just say 454. It said 0. Is that possible? Can somebody do a simple calculation for me? Yeah, 81 pounds. They got 81 pounds. Something around there. So let me do this again. 37,000 divided by, we're going to say 450. What did we say a pound was? 450. We'll say 454 divided by 454 equals, really? That's what the DEA was able to get off the streets. 81 pounds. And we got Tennessee that was able to get out of their county 425 pounds. So again, this is where I am so sick of word salad from our mainstream media. We've got local news showing us what their states are doing, and we got Fox News telling us what the DEA is doing. I'm sorry, the DEA is not doing enough to save us, if you want my honest opinion. They're not doing anything. I can guarantee you at the epidemic and that we're at right now, there is somebody, I guarantee just about every single family across America right now is dealing with some type of drug crisis with one of their family members, whether it's immediate or extended. There is not one family across this country, in my opinion, that have not been affected by this. I have been in the bushes doing chores. I saw the math going horribly wrong and weighed in to say thank you. Thank you, Teresa. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. But it's just, yeah, 2.2 pounds. Yeah, it's just, this is ridiculous. Thank you. I wish I would have known it that way. That would have been a lot easier way than I did it. I did it the long way. We went the grams way. I should have went the pounds way. What am I thinking? Leave it to Bullhorn Betty to make it complicated. Where's my buttons? I got no laughy button. That was a laughy button moment. A laughy button moment. So how do you guys feel that we have the DEA, our national DEA, and they passed up the cartels to get a small little group of people? That's what they did. This was a shit. I'm sorry. This was a joke, if you want to ask me. An absolute utter joke. That is 200 people. I guarantee most of those people are going to either walk, plead down. There's going to be only a few people that actually make the big time. I don't know. 81 pounds. That's a failure to me. That is a failure. I mean, I'm glad you know what? I'm glad every drug that's off the street is one less drug being put into the body of one of our children here in this country. I am a child too. It doesn't matter how old you are out there. You could be 87 years old in my chat, and you're still a child of someone. We don't want this stuff in our children. We don't want them hurting other people to get this stuff. We don't want them hurting themselves to get this stuff. We don't want them not being here tomorrow. We want them healthy. We want them happy. But what do? We all have curiosity, okay? Every one of us. It's part of life. When we're children and we're growing up, we're curious. What makes us want to crawl? Because we want to see if we can do it. What makes us want to stand and walk? Because we want to get to what mommy and daddy has that we're not allowed to have. We have a reason to learn and grow. We're going to try new things. That's what we're taught, right? Remember the little puzzles that we always play when we were younger? Memory puzzles. Flip this over. Do you remember where this piece was? Is this piece the same place? And you got to match the cards. So we're taught to be curious. We're taught to try new things. We're taught to try new foods. We're taught to go new places. We're taught new things. This is a particular drug that the first time you try it, you're done or you're hooked. These people don't even know what they're doing before the damage is done. That's what people aren't understanding. These people are literally making sure in this stuff. Listen, this is how bad it's getting. I have a friend. She's an older friend. And I don't want to tell the story. I don't want to. It was two old women that were bitching at each other. It got a little heated. And one older lady, now we're talking about 60-plus-year-old women here, okay? So one old lady decided, and you guys aren't older ladies. I don't want to call you old ladies because you guys aren't old ladies, and I'm going to be right there with you and just right around the corner, a fart and a sneeze away, right? So I need to be kind. I'm already old as dirt, right? But these are older ladies. These are, post 60, okay? You're old ladies. And one of them decided to yap at the other one for driving too fast, which I don't know whether one was fighting too fast and the other said, you mind your own business. Well, this is my road. Next thing you know, car door comes open. One lady comes out. The two ladies are pecking back and forth, and one goes to take the camera and the other goes to grab the phone. Well, you can't do that, okay? You can't grab at somebody else's phone, okay? Unfortunately, it could be misconstrued as something else, okay? Long story short, got blown out of proportion. And this one lady got on. She's on probation for like 6 months or something like that. I'm laughing at this story because I can't keep a straight face because I'm trying to imagine all this in my head, seeing these ladies just going at it, and one little old gal got to go down to the Manatee County Police Department and get booked in. It's blowing my mind. Okay. It happens. Okay. But it's still blowing my mind. So she's got paper. And they said, and of course we have, marijuana cards here in the state of Florida. As long as you're under a doctor's supervision and you meet certain requirements, you're lawfully allowed to possess and smoke real marijuana. A lot of this stuff is like 3%, that these stores and stuff, they're like less than 3% of actual THC in them or something like that, the legal stuff that you can buy. But this is the real stuff. You can order the real stuff from these dispensaries. And so she was like, she's not going, she doesn't know this lady, but the lady's like, well, listen, you're going to have to do this. And we're going to know if you're getting it off the streets because they lace everything in fit. That's what I said. I took a long way to get there. But the one thing that we are learning, that I have learned recently, is that this stuff is in everything now. They have mixed this stuff with they are trying to chemically depend everybody while our border is open, and I want to know why. I want to know why. That's what the probation officer said. They said that they can now urinalysis people to find out whether or not they're going through the dispensaries or not by what's in the stuff on the street. I was floored. I was absolutely floored. You can't even smoke marijuana now without worrying about whether or not you're being addicted to another substance you don't even know. That's scary for me. And the DEA pulls 37 of those blocks off our street, while Tennessee is taking hundreds of pounds off our streets. I'm sorry, I've got a problem with that. I've got a big problem with that. The DEA, that was a joke. It sounded so good. I was so excited when I read that article, and I got to that 30 and you know what? When I read that article and I heard 37 bricks, you know, the first thing that came to my mind, now I don't know if this is true or not, but it's the first thing that came to my mind. Somebody was told. Somebody got a heads up. Who got the heads up? How did they get the heads up? And where did it come from? This is the DEA. The DEA. You're not supposed to have leaks. But that is not a pat on the back in my book. Thank you for getting some drugs off the street. It should have been better. It should have been better. Maybe the DEA needs to go and talk to the state of Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't get a lot of things right. They definitely don't get anything right when it comes to the kids. But they seem to be getting this right. That's all I'm saying. And if you need some extra help, DEA, we got the best sheriff to teach you, to school you on a few things. You know who you need to see? Go call Grady Judd. Grady Judd will help you out. Okay. You need to know where this stuff is coming. You want to get a bigger pot. You want to get some real stuff off the streets. Not this 37 kilos crap. You want to get some real stuff off the street? Okay, let's go get some real stuff off the street. That was garbage. That was shit. Sorry. That's my 2 cents. Don't spend it all in one place. God bless you guys. Take care. Have a good day, guys. I am gonna sign off. I need some more coffee. And Jen's probably not going to be up for a few hours, so I've got some work I need to get done. And tonight, when I get into South Carolina, make sure you guys have your notification bells on. We're going to be going live later tonight to go over some documents, go over what is going to be expected tomorrow. So everybody know, not tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? What's today? Sunday? Today is Sunday, right? Yes. Okay. Tomorrow, what's going to go on tomorrow? We're going to go over everything so everybody knows what time they need to be, where they need to be, and if they wanted to tune in to watch it. This is going to be interesting. We're going to be there. It doesn't sound like I want to be able to bring content or record from inside the courtroom, but we're going to have a pooled videographer. So it sounds like we're going to have a live feed for you guys to hear it. So that's what we're going to have set up for everybody. So when the live feed is down or they're on break, we're going to be commentating. We're going to be telling you guys what our opinions are, getting some information out there to you, and explaining the law as we understand it. We'll be reading it. We'll be verbating whatever everybody else is. But what I'm going to be doing in that thick paperwork is we're going to really talk about what the true allegations are in this matter. A lot of people are confused. They don't know what the true allegations are. They're reading it, but they don't understand it. So we're going to be breaking all of that down for you. We've got 3 hours to fill before the trial or the hearing or motion even starts. And we are going to be explaining from beginning to where we are right then of everything that has gone on. And it's going to be a lot of talking. There's not going to be, when we're out in the field, for those that are new to this channel, It's not going to be a lot of videos. It's not a show like it is at home. This is real life. It just is what it is, and we're out there from the beginning to the end. So if this lasts 10 hours today, we'll be out there 10 hours today. Tomorrow. If it lasts 3 hours, we'll be out there 3 hours. But it sounds like Judge Toll truly believes she's going to be able to get through everybody on Monday. She has 3 days. We rented for 2. So if we get everything done by Monday, I'll still be here an extra day. So that's just going to be it. I'm not going to waste people's money on a room, but we had to. I have a funny feeling. I don't know why. I just have a funny feeling it's going to go over until Tuesday, but I don't think it's going to be a full day Tuesday. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out, but that's where we're at. So don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Until next time, please be safe and kind to one another. God bless each and every one of you. We're going to go out with the Murdaugh. Actually, I think I'm going to go out with Layla Santinello.
Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. So
this is Layla Santinello. She has been missing since June 27th, 2023, and she disappeared from Kingsport, Tennessee. Chronicles of Olivia and I went out to Kingsport, Tennessee on several different trips, searching for Layla Santinello or any information leading to her whereabouts. These are my thoughts on this case.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I was hoping by now we would have found Layla. So this has been very hard. You know, we want to bring her home. We want to make sure that her family knows what happened to her, I think is really the most important. Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. Just like to speak to them just for a moment and just say, if you know something, say something, because her life does matter. For the family members of these people that know what happened to her, it could have been your daughter. It could have been your granddaughter. You need to ask them to stand up and speak up.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.